Welcome back to another first impression, this time for the anime WitchWatch. We have the synopsis from my anime list. Nico Wakatsuki has finished her 6 years of witch training and is moving back to town by herself. As a new witch, she must choose a familiar to accompany her. However, unlike the other witches, she wishes to pick a non-animal familiar. There's no better companion than Morihito Moi Otogi, her childhood friend who happens to be an ogre. Morihito is vehemently opposed to being her servant, but he reluctantly accepts his fate after learning that a curse would reward him into a strange cow-tiger hybrid were he to disobey a witch's order. Due to Morihito's father leaving for a business trip and Nico's mother remaining behind in the witch's holy land, the two teens find themselves living together, under the same roof. While Nico is ecstatic to be living with her crush, Morihito finds that her magical antics and overall clumsiness create more problems than solutions. With a prophesied disaster to befall Nico within a year, Morihito must do everything he can to protect her as her bodyguard while also upholding his duties as her familiar, whatever that entails. So this is a comedy supernatural anime which has supposedly 26 episodes, and overall this one did have a couple spots where I did laugh, and it generally improved my mood whenever I watched an episode. I did watch the first 3 as always, and I would say seems pretty nice at this point. There seems to be like something going on around the comedy part, but we will have to see. I mean, we are talking about a disaster that is going to happen. I have the feeling that this is not really going to be a disaster. It's going to be something lighthearted, nothing to worry about, but that is just my speculation. Overall, like the synopsis says, we do see those two like in their childhood being friends. He's like protecting her in some case. He's like, okay, I have to. They have a little sad moment where she has to leave to then learn to be a witch, and then she comes back and she's picking him as familiar, which is interesting, because the only reason he's an ogre is because there were 2 familiars previously, many generations ago, that were animals, and through the magical power as a familiar, they then started mutating into humans or human-like. They then had a child together, and that is how the ogre family started, which is interesting. Also interesting, we see a lot of magic. She's doing a lot of magic, but most magic has like a side effect, which is really interesting. I like that as example. And yeah, sure. As example, she can make something super light, which is okay. Cool. You can make something lighter, nice. But the downside is that after a certain time, whenever the spell wears off, the object gets twice as heavy, which is an interesting idea. It's like you go and you transfer the weight of the object into the future or something like that. My personal interpretation. But most of her magic seems to have like a downside or maybe like a cost, which is interesting. So we have a little bit more going on there. Overall, though, it's pretty lighthearted, comedy, supernatural, fun. She is into the guy, into Moi, but he's not really interested at all, seemingly, or he at least doesn't let it show, while she is trying to give like hints, the typical way of like, look at me, I'm cute and you have me all to yourself. But he doesn't chomp at the bit at all. People give it a 7.57. I would also say at this point, like a 7, maybe could be an 8. It is definitely something you could look into. Comedy is always very subjective. Maybe you watch like the first episode and you are crying, you're laughing, then this is definitely your show. For me, that is very hard. I do have a pretty dark humor, so it is very hard to find something that really makes me laugh all the way through. But definitely solid at this point. We will see if it is really 26 episodes. I don't feel like it will be able to stand on just the comedy part. However, I can be wrong, so we will see.